Welcome to the talk shop.
Yeah, so anytime she sees anybody like going out
Mm-hmm.
and like getting ready to go out, keys jingling, you're putting on clothes, she's like looking at you and like getting ready to go out too, for the most part. So she likes going out, she likes stepping out, going to new places. But yeah, she doesn't go out that often. Stranger danger is going down a little bit because Mexico trip was good. She didn't really cry for anybody like that. She had a good time. So she's used to at least my wife's family, at least she's used to now. So it's just the rest of the world she has to get more used to.
Tell the man them about your
Oh.
your little trip there.
Yeah. Went to a family trip with the in-laws to Mexico. Very interesting, typical all-inclusive trip, drinks unlimited, everything unlimited. So one of the particular nights Bernie's talking about was a mess. It was a big mess. Like, so that morning actually we went for like one of these adventure park things. Like we went ziplining, cave diving, and ATVing. Right. So that was in the morning. So woke up at like 7:30 a.m. Went for that till like noon, 1 o'clock, and then got home to the hotel and just went straight to the pool. Went straight to the pool bar.
The pool bar for drinks, eh?
For drinks, and it was, and I don't know. I mean, I have this. It's almost as big as this, like my bottle, but I have a cup that's kind of like this, and that's what I took on the trip, and that's what they serve you drinks in, if you bring it to the bar. Mm-hmm. And so imagine having like 10 of those between 1 and 3 p.m. Like 2 hours. It's a 2 hour span. I was having this thing called Tennessee Apple. If you ever go to a bar, ask for it. It's very good. It's like Jack Daniels. That's the Tennessee part of it. And there's apple, cranberry, stuff like that. Pretty good, pretty sweet. And you won't even know you're drinking alcohol. So I down I shit you not, maybe 6 or 7 of those in like a 2 hour span.
Whoa.
So up until that period, I was talking to you guys around maybe 8, 9, even 10 p.m. I was still like fucked up from it. Like I literally was stumbling around the results.
I'm trying to find. Here we go.
What would I say?
So like we're on the group chat, just having regular chat, throwing links around. Chindi goes, "Fam, I'm Mexico, drunk. Ignore me."
It was bad, man. It was bad. Like, it was a good time, man. It was a good time. I'm glad we did it. So
Mans was sending us a picture of his red eyes.
Bro, it was bad. It was bad. But it was a good time. It was a good time.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm glad at least Kaima didn't cry to butt out, bro. Have you guys flown with PJ recently? No, right?
Not since like literally a year ago when we went to Houston.
Bro. She was bad. Going there, she didn't sleep once. Coming back, she didn't sleep either. Always, we were lucky. We were able to secure like the whole aisle, the whole row, because for some reason we've only got international flights, which is pretty standard. They'll give you the middle seat and the social distance and everything.
Mm.
These flights to Mexico, bro, it's as if it was like 2 years ago. No space.
It was packed?
Bro, fam. It was scary. I'm not even going front. And then, but they ended up giving us like the middle, like the 3 seats. So Kaima was in the middle of us, but throughout the flight, she was up and down, man. Like she didn't sit down once. Like we can't seat belt her in and expect her to sit down. But she was climbing over me, climbing over Maka, pushing the chair in front of her, looking at people behind her. It was a mess. We couldn't sleep, no resting. From coming back was the worst experience I've had with her. And it wasn't that she was crying or anything. She was just being unruly, or like being a child in a plane.
Right, because she's at that age where like sitting still is not like,
it's not an option.
Unless you've got like those cartoons for her, like sitting still is not gonna work.
Even that, Kaima has never been one person that sits down and does one thing throughout and not just. She's always up. She's always doing something else. Like you can't keep her in one place. So no matter what, it was always gonna be an issue. But man, it was, bruh, it was rough. I couldn't sleep. And imagine coming back after all that drinking and stuff. It was.
Man's like,
terrible.
Please keep quiet.
Just
I'm hungover.
My head is paining me. I'm tired. But it was good. It was a good trip. I'm glad we did it. It was very good. It was very
That's
good.
nice, man. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, as you can see, it's just two of us this week. Back to the original crew, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
But we had a few things lined up for this week, but people have schedules, so unfortunately we had to cancel. But we'll be back with guests. We're gonna try to have guests, yeah, every week if we can, really.
Mm-hmm.
So far we've been good with it. Actually, I've been impressed every week we've had somebody. So it's good to have a little break from guests right now. But
And
yeah,
thanks for the feedback. We've been getting some good feedback from the
yeah.
last ones. I got a message being like, "Yo, Tossa's voice is so deep."
Word.
I was like, he needs to turn down the bass. His voice is so deep.
Yeah,
But
just it
I
was a
think
good,
I think
a
it
good
was good.
episode last week. Very
Yeah, it
good.
was lots of fun. Lots.
They've all been good, really. I like Chidera. I like Chidera's episode a lot. It was
Yeah.
really very
Someone even
insightful.
commented saying like, thanks for all she's doing for the medical field and stuff. So
Yeah,
keep those comments coming.
yeah,
Let us know who you want us to have, or if you want to join us and just banter. Like,
yeah.
we're
I
down.
but even banter episodes, we try to at least do something that educates in some way somehow. I mean, Tosa's
Yep.
episode was supposed to be banter, but he still learned a lot about immigrating and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
at least from the Canadian side, I can tell stories about the American side, but we all know how difficult that is. So
I'm sorry people don't want to talk because ICE is looking for them.
no, I mean no, that's one thing I can say the benefit of Biden being in right now is that at least for the next 4 years, all those things are going to be reversed hard, like
Mm-hmm.
hard. Like the stance is going to be opposites of everything Trump did. So at least I'll be able to secure my green card and start doing citizenship before any other idiot comes in and does something.
Amen to that.
Yeah,
Amen
man.
to that.
But yeah, man. Yeah. So just us this week. But are we? I mean, we didn't have a pre-pro really because it's just me and you. But it's gonna be a freestyle essentially, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I did watch that thing you told me to watch.
Okay.
If you want to talk about
Okay.
it first, we can.
Yeah.
Although we can actually start with the craziness that's been this week. GameStop and the likes. You know.
Yo. Yo. Like I still don't fully I
Me
get
too.
it.
I'll be honest with
I,
you.
I I get it at a high level, but like I
Yep.
don't know like the granularity of it.
Exactly. Even when we were talking about it in the group chat, like I couldn't listen to everything everybody was saying. Those articles they put in, I'm not trying to read all that shit, but I understand on the high level. I understand the concept of shorting and
Mm-hmm.
what's the effect of what people were doing had on the market.
Mm-hmm.
But like I asked in the group chat, like who thought about doing this to them? It's brilliant, I think, but it's like it's diabolical. But at the same time, that's the Wall Street game just being played on them. So like I get it, but the whole thing was a calamity, man. Like it was just
So like I get okay. So I think what people need to betting against those stocks. Like they were shorting, right? So they were
yeah,
betting against those stocks.
yeah,
And the whole point is the stock is supposed to tank, and then you're supposed to make money when the stock tanks. This is
yeah,
a high level
yeah,
understanding of it.
yeah.
I only know this because of the movie The Big Short, where the
Mm-hmm,
guy bet against essentially the whole economy, right?
mm-hmm,
And then he was right.
mm-hmm,
But it seems like it started on Reddit where a bunch of people were like, nah, screw this. We're not going to let those people do this.
mm-hmm,
So band together and essentially buy the stock. Like,
mm-hmm.
is that what happened?
Yeah. So essentially, just so you know, you froze for like 10 seconds on my end. I don't know if it's my internet or yours, but just FYI. But I'm sure you have good footage. But anyways, um, yeah, essentially it's a common trade to do that. I'm not sure why GameStop particularly, but I'm guessing GameStop was built to be going down soon. I mean, I know they're closing the shops left, right, and center, so I'm sure the company itself was tanking,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I guess just from a point of view of nerds and redditors and people like that, they just didn't want to see it go down. But at the same time, I have a funny feeling there's some disgruntled employees in that mix that probably decided to do this revolt. But essentially, it's just enough people banded together with social media to reverse a typical short scheme, you know?
Hmm.
And because these hedge funds do, and I don't know who this person, I have funny feeling it's a revenge plot from somebody that worked at that hedge fund, probably. They just started the whole thing. But, anyways, there's no proof of that. But
I can see it.
how
I can see it. I can see it.
yeah, but how do you know that GameStop particularly is being held by this one place, or you just choose GameStop and whoever is betting on it enough, like whoever was trying to short it, is just going to suffer? I guess generally that's probably what it is. But yeah, essentially people bought the stock, and instead of the short working in terms of the price of the stock tanking and you know the hedge fund being able to buy on its hedge at a cheaper price, essentially making money on the
Hmm.
difference. Um, the price went up, and essentially it's a loss. It'll be a loss if they try to do that. So million
Yeah.
dollar loss, billions actually
Yeah,
losses.
it's really in billions, and it's crazy because, like, one of my buddies was just like, "Yo, like he's just had GameStop. Like, it
Hmm.
wasn't like he was participating; he just had the stock
Hmm.
as a gamer, I guess." And he was like, "What's going on with my stock? It's crazy." I'm like, and then he put it on like Insta story. I'm like, okay, like, I didn't really check it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
Hmm.
But then I started hearing about it everywhere in the group chats, and I started to look because now that as we talked about in one of our previous episodes,
Hmm.
we've gotten into investments,
Hmm.
and I looked at it and I was like, huh. I think it was 250. My
Hmm.
mind, I still didn't care because I didn't look at the trends
The story, yeah.
Un- until later. I looked at it and I realized that only last year this thing was at $5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to say what didn't it start rising astronomically at like 10, 15, maybe something in that region, something nothing crazy because people could buy in pretty cheaply, right? And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden it just started rising and rising and rising and rising, and it's crazy.
Like
I,
from like it was. So let's say I'm looking at it now in September last year, which is not too far away. It was
mhm,
$7,
mhm.
and then it was going up. You've doubled your money as of October to $14. It went down and up and down, and let's say around beginning of the year, it got to about 18, and from that point, it went up and up and up and up.
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly. Yeah, so it's crazy. I mean, stuff like that scares me anyways. I wouldn't be the one kind of person to just go out and buy that stock because it's rising. I pity the people that did that and are still holding on to it and never got to sell it, or they bought so much now and then they just have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of it, and there's nothing they can do. They're gonna lose regardless of what they do.
So is
Um,
it that like I know if you were using Robinhood, right?
mm,
Like you can't trade that stock. But is
anymore.
it everywhere you can't trade that stock or just like
I
on
think
Robinhood?
even TD Ameritrade put a halt on it. I saw their. I mean, I have TD, so I saw their notification for those particular stocks. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm sure all the brokerage houses have to figure out a way to stop this because they're going to lose if people keep trading at the volume that
Mhm.
they were. Now, my question is this: can they do that? Is it ethically okay for them to do that without the SEC saying the trading should stop? SEC hasn't said anything. I mean, by now maybe they have, but as of when this was heating up, SEC hadn't put any legislation or any rule out saying people should stop trading. It was the brokerage houses themselves that stopped it, and that's where the
That's the
argument
part I
comes.
don't know.
That's where the argument comes is like this is something. If a brokerage house was doing it in reverse to the individual investor, no one would ever cry about it because they're winning. But now that the individual investor is doing well on this, and the brokerage houses are losing, it's a problem. You know,
Right.
which I understand, but like it's their brokerage houses essentially, or the whole market is like a big casino. The house
Yep.
has to win. So I always knew it was going to happen, but at the same time, it's like, anyways, I just like I was saying, I pity people that invested a lot and threw a lot into it and are going to lose because they can't get rid of the stock now. And no matter what they do, they either have to hold on to it, and they're going to have unrealized gains or also
Mhm.
unrealized losses because they're not going to sell it. So they'll have, let's pick a number, 100 stocks of shares of this stock,
Mhm.
and they can't sell it. So they'll lose going from 100,000 or whatever to whatever it goes down to eventually.
That doesn't seem
Um,
right to me.
yeah, I mean, but then again, if you think about it, like I said, because it's happening on a global scale and people are hearing about it, is the only reason why this is happening. In silence, every day there's stocks that mess up all the time. It
Yeah, that's
happens
true.
every day. So, and it's the game that the brokers usually win, but now they're also suffering in it. You know,
Right.
it's like those Wolf of Wall Street, the penny stocks. If you're silly enough to go buy it, thinking something good will come out of it because it's so cheap or whatever, and somebody bamboozled you that it was gonna like the company was gonna do well or whatever, whatever,
Mhm.
and then you end up losing. It's the same concept, just that now, you know, a lot of people won from this. People that were quick enough to buy a lot and sell a lot quickly
Mhm. Mhm.
got out good, but now people are stuck. And then when you think about the brokerage houses who just don't want to lose anymore, making it more difficult for people to cash out their money. So I mean, the only part
So
now that makes it
how
bad
long
is
can it last though? Like how long can this halt last
I
before
don't. That's what I
something?
was trying to see. I don't know if the SEC has stepped in yet. That's the only way we'll know what will happen. But
Mhm.
what can they say? What can they do? Somebody's still going to lose. They can't make everyone whole, and they'll probably make Wall Street whole.
I,
So,
I think it speaks to a larger ethical issue, right? As you're alluding to,
yeah.
because there are lots of people who are saying like, the people got together effectively, right? Like the
Hmm.
people got together and did something. But if these hedge funds and even the wealthy and the exchanges themselves get together and do some something, no one's gonna say anything,
No one
right?
hears about it. The layperson
Because
doesn't hear about it, and they lose.
effectively that's what shorting is, right?
Yep.
Like, and we've seen instances of companies coming together and shorting.
Yep.
So when that happens, why is it so? It's an imbalance
Yep.
of Wall Street versus Main Street, I guess, as they like to
Yep.
say in America.
Hmm.
And it really sucks because now that I'm an investor and I get to think about these things, I'm
Yep.
like, man, if that happens, all I want to do is make money. Like
Yep.
that's the point. That's the
See,
point of America.
but
Like,
that's the thing, though. Like I've always been, and I feel like people should be more of a long-term investor, not necessarily people that just want to do it so they can get either the dividends quickly, the interest quickly, or sell out quickly.
mhm.
That's always a dangerous game, unless and even people that do that on a daily basis, like day trading, like every day they look at the stock, they buy something low enough, buy enough of it, and then sell it and get some kind of profit from it every single day.
Mhm.
That's tasking, man. I've never been one of those investors that did that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm always long haul. That's why I want stable stuff like food manufacturers, Costco's, airlines, things that I know that may not necessarily like just go volatile on me. Get in early enough and it'll keep rising and rising, and at some point you can make a gain when you come out. But I mean, and even people that are doing these trades, do they realize that the tax consequences of those gains?
What do you know what they are in America?
Well,
Uh, like, I'm curious if you know.
oh,
'Cause I
the
know it is.
actual tax rate. I'm not gonna say I remember because I did personal taxes at some point.
Mhm.
The actual rate changes a lot, but the individual tax on realized gains is usually higher than your base rate because realized gains, you know, is added income. Um, Either way, they have their own tax rate. The point is that you get taxed a certain amount. So people thinking that it's just free money. I hope that's one thing I always tell people. If you get a big chunk of money from somewhere, from a job, you better be keeping 20-25% of that for the tax man because the worst thing you can do is spend everything and not have anything to pay up at the end of the year. You know.
Yep. In
Anyways,
in in Canada, it's 50% of capital gains.
see,
That's
that's what I'm
that,
saying. I'm
that's
I'm
what it
almost
is.
certain it's as close. It's almost close here. I don't know. Let me see. Capital gains tax rates.
Because I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between realized gain and capital gain, or is it the same thing?
It is
Is
the
it
same
even
thing.
realized capital gain? Okay, okay,
Yeah, same thing.
yeah, yeah, it's the same thing.
Capital gains
Be-
tax rate for 2020.
It's crazy, man. Like
See, well, it's not that bad. 15%. It's not that for single,
1.5.
anyways. Yeah, 1.5. It's not that bad.
That's free. What the hell?
I knew it was somewhere between 15 and 25, but I wasn't sure exactly what it is. But think about it like this: on someone that's not a big earner and their tax bracket is not that high, it could be a problem. Yeah, long-term
Oh,
capital gains tax at a rate of 0, 15, or 20%, depending on the combination of taxable income and marital status. Exactly. So if your income is over a certain amount or you're married, that's where the bracket lies.
because yours is
So
statewide. It's not really like national, right? Because I'm seeing New York
that's what I'm
25.
saying. So there's two different things. I just looked at the federal tax rate. When you add in the state tax rate on capital gains, that's a whole other,
Oh, okay.
additional.
So it could
Usually
come up to 50
it
even.
could come up to I won't say 50. I would say maximum 40, 35, 40. And depends actually if you live in New York State and New York City, then maybe yeah, you could get to 50%.
Right, 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 right.
Because we have the shittiest taxes than every New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, California, worst places for
Well,
taxes.
when we're ready to talk about it, you can tell me what your new tax rate will be.
Oh no. That's why that thing that's happening later in the year is cool. That's why I wanted Texas.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
like we talked about last time, property taxes in Texas also. But to me, is a good trade off because at least I have a roof over my head that's reasonably priced,
right,
compared to here. So it
right, right,
makes
right.
sense to me. But yeah, the whole thing was just interesting to me. And I was like, okay, thank God I didn't get into this. But at the same time, people that I see that made a lot of money from this, it's like, bruh, like,
Are you the type of person that because okay, I know me. If I just randomly had some like GameStop stock, just
mm,
because I'm not the type of person just like you were saying to just rush and capitalize on something
mhm.
because I mean I would want to, but I would need to be able to. There's a limit of where I would say, okay, I'm going to sell it now.
Yeah,
Like I'm not going to hold and hold and hold and hold and hold and like at the max. I'm like no 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 no.
and
If
that's
I've
the
made
problem.
like 100, like you know what, how it went from $5
To
to
10, 14.
10, I would leave it. I'm like, cool, that's small. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's still enough. I can just keep it.
Mhm.
However, once it got to 150, I might have sold that stock.
Yep, I probably would have sold it too. I probably would have sold it too because that's a huge gain. And again, like I said, people don't think about the tax consequences. They just want to get the money out, make the
Mm-hmm.
quick money.
Mm-hmm.
Me, maybe that's a bad thing on my part. I'm not gonna realize gains until I absolutely have to, and it makes sense. That's why I buy certain stock that I keep for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to just keep realizing and have the big amounts just stacking up. I don't know, whatever. But
No,
I
you
was
make sense.
I was sad for people that lost out on this. Funny to see Wall Street reeling at this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also they did it for they did GameStop and
I
what
think
else?
I think AMC.
AMC, which is also interesting.
You
But
know the good part about the AMC one is AMC was struggling, right? I think
yep,
they declared bankruptcy, but
yep,
like was it Chapter 11 or whatever?
yep.
Like because of the creditors. But apparently through this, they've been able to pay off those debts and they're like chilling.
See, that's the only good thing. But something like GameStop now. Okay, so first of all, they better pivot like Netflix did early, where they went out of the physical sales, the deliveries to digital.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how GameStop does that because what are those services that they have, electronic game sales, whatever. They have some
Like
services that
Steam.
have. I don't know their names honestly. I don't play games, so I don't know their names, but I know that there's services kind of like I don't want to say like a Netflix for games
You know
where
the
you can do
problem
that.
with that is I remember when there was Steam. So like
Mhm.
if you ever played like FM, like Football Manager,
Yeah.
you'd have to install Steam and
Mhm.
then get it from there. Now, the problem with gaming is everyone goes direct, right? Because you can buy it off the
Up to
PS
PS. Yep.
and
Yep.
then Xbox has the same thing, Nintendo has the same thing. So
Hmm.
it's like if I'm that's my system, like I'm gonna go there. There
Yep.
are very few people that have everything and then might need like a store. So it's like CD sales in games lasted a long time.
Yep.
Like a long time. That's why like GameStop and all those things could maintain.
Kept going.
But
Yeah.
what you need to do, and I think it's also sort of a business thing that I get, like I see Apple doing all the time. Apple themselves make
Change
their
things.
own business redundant.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, like
Exactly.
they go into the game and they're like, okay, you know what? The CD-ROMs, screw it. We're gonna sell you this laptop
New thing.
without a CD drive.
Yep.
And people are like, what the hell are you doing that for? They're
Yep.
like, no. Here, like you just got a new laptop.
Yep.
And literally there's no USB 3.0
Nope.
or whatever.
That's
They're like, screw it.
That's the only thing I don't like about this computer. By the way, is the fact that it has um only two Thunder ports on one side. Like at least put it on each side or something,
Mm-hmm.
for people that work from home and shit like that. But anyways, it's awesome
Yeah.
computer so far. What?
It's interesting. The one I have, like I have one from work and I have four because it's like the developer model or whatever. But I mean, they're trying to make money off you buying a dongle and stuff. Like we get that. But like they do set the tone so that they're at the front of the pack, because now you're seeing even a lot of Windows laptops shipping with USB-C.
Yeah.
And even on the phones, remember when I think the 7 came out and there was no headphone jack, and then people were like, oh my God, what is this? And now you're seeing Android phones shipping without them. And it's because they want to sell these things.
Yep.
That's what it is. And now these things are a company on its own, the AirPods.
Yep.
So you've got to be ahead of the game, and GameStop is not ahead of the game, same way Blockbuster was not ahead of the game.
Yeah. It's I mean, but then again, it's just moving with the times. Everything physical is fading away as much as it can. Unless it's a gadget that helps you do things, anything attachment or anything, like it's how iPhones are shipping without bricks anymore, because everyone has had several bricks from way back when that still do the same job. You don't need it anymore. So, ship it out. That's an interesting thing that's probably also going to evolve. I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, it's funny enough, I'm actually pretty impressed though. Like the main build of things remains the same. So for instance, the charger brick on this computer, it's obviously is a Thunder, whatever, USB-C, whatever. But did you ever have any of those extension cords for Apple?
Yeah, I used to have those.
I have one still, and it's still the same design, so I can still use my extender charger thing. Exactly. So right now I'm on my couch, but I'm plugged into the wall at my desk, so still long. It still works. Those kind of things. Anyways, that's why I like the Apple universe, because most things remain the same. Like I didn't even have to pair my Beats with this computer. Automatically does. My new phone had my Beats on it already. Like it's a little bit scary, because what does that mean?
Because it syncs your Apple ID, right? So like, okay,
exactly.
You put your Apple ID in the computer, it's you. We're good.
Exactly. So, anyways, I like all that kind of stuff. But so, I'm glad for GameStop, glad for AMC. I guess if that worked, but we'll see how the SEC responds. I haven't seen anything. Honestly, I haven't followed it to see what the SEC has said about this, but I can only imagine they're going to make Wall Street whole, and any poor schmuck that bought too much.
In my opinion, open that shit back up. Like, if you're supposed to be a free market and no one committed a crime here, then let it go.
Yeah.
Like, it's enough is enough. Let it go. Like, what they're scared of is that people are going to band together and do stuff like this
again. It's probably going to happen again. Now people know this is going to happen. It's going to happen again for something random. The problem is, to think from the business point of view, that's billions and billions of dollars they're going to lose. Like a lot of bankruptcies, a lot of Chapter 11s, a lot. So I get it, especially if it's a boutique hedge fund that has some of these issues. But I mean, I'm with the people. I don't really care. They'll figure it out. And like I said, it's Wall Street's going to help out Wall Street. I feel like it's going to do something to help them get back on their feet. Whatever, even if they break even on it. I don't know how they can drive stock prices down artificially, but they'll figure out a way to do it. Yeah,
Yeah, they'll. You're right. They'll figure themselves out.
Did you see the interview? Somebody was pressing the Robinhood CEO, and he couldn't give an answer as to why they weren't letting people trade anymore. As you know what I mean, there was no real reason to.
I didn't see the interview, but I saw how they were roasting him for looking like, like one of those. Like, I don't even. They say he looked like some college kid who didn't know what the hell was going on. Like he was high or something.
Yep, and he reminded me of that farmer guy. You know, the guy that bought the Wu-Tang CD thing. What's his name again?
Shkreli or what? What?
Yeah, Skrelly or whatever his name is. He reminded me of that guy. Reminded me of that guy. So
looks like a grease ball like that.
Whatever, man. I don't know how people like that get lucky making these companies and making a lot of money, but hey, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. I saw what's his name commenting on it. Wolf of Wall Street guy. What's his name? What's his real name?
Sharon. It begins with a J.
Shit.
Crap. I'm gonna look it up. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, but yeah.
Elon doesn't like it.
Yeah, I was about to say him, AOC, and the rest banding up and speaking up against it on Twitter.
AOC went off. She went off.
Maybe she has Robinhood and she got fucked. I don't know. You never know.
She went up, and did you see like Ted Cruz tried to agree with her, and she like threw him in the mud?
Yeah, no, bro. Sorry, no, you can't just come and be agreeing with me now. That was interesting. That's slime ball, man. What are they going to do to him? I'm just trying to see what the Republican Party is going to become now because this is all jokers.
They're not going to do anything.
All jokers. All jokers. It's crazy.
They have no intention of doing anything.
Don't the impeachment trials start this week?
Yeah, and apparently Trump's lawyers, like 5 of them, quit. So...
And isn't he trying not to pay Rudy or something?
Man, Rudy's gonna get Rudy. I think Rudy's getting paid still because Rudy's still like talking on the side. I don't know if he's just desperate, trying to like gain any favor,
trying to be a strong man and keep talking about what he's talking about. I think that guy is the worst.
When you see Dominion are suing Rudy for 1.4
billion, I'm like, bro, how's it gonna pay you that shit? And why just Rudy though? That's not fair on him. But
the Sydney woman as well. That you know that woman that was talking shit. Like she's one of them.
Which one of the reps?
No, remember like there was that Laura Powell, Sydney Powell, or the one like she was even louder than Rudy about this whole thing.
Oh really?
Yeah, like she was mad.
Like his right hand man. The woman that's always
like they were both doing the press conferences together.
Yeah,
and like she was the one actually giving him information that he was then using to say a bunch of bullshit. While as he was sweating, his hair dye was coming down with it.
That whole episode, like, how do you book the 4 seasons, but you book the 4 seasons garage and repair, and nobody in your crew checks it out? When you paid for the hall, nobody knew that was where it was, and he still showed up as if. Yeah, we did it. We did it on purpose. We wanted to go to an industrial place. Fuck no. Next to a porn shop. Really? Really?
Even that 4 Seasons landscaping company, they said it was like they knew that they didn't want to go there.
They didn't want to go there. Exactly. I guess the whole thing's just like if you can't see how stupid the whole Trump circus is. You know, it's so funny. We can just say his name's pretty. I don't give a fuck anymore. Before, honestly, Loki in group chat, you don't want to type his name because he's still the president at that point. But nah, fuck that. But yeah, it's very interesting, man. I don't know. Giuliani is that he's just the picture of the dysfunctionality that was that whole group. You know, and it's just funny seeing their crash. I honestly can't wait for all these prosecutions to happen. I don't know if New York State's gonna wait for his impeachment to be done and then come after him, but I can't wait. Because I think that's the one that will finally pin him on something.
I think he'll get away with it.
You think so?
I think he'll get away
even in your case. I
just feel like
tax evasion
in America, the rich get away with everything, and this is a former president. There's you know what? It may not even be like the evidence isn't there. We all know it's there. You know, someone will be strong armed. Someone's kid will be like held at gunpoint, and we won't know. Like all this shit that happened in Scandal, bruh. Like, nah, I don't.
That's the thing, though. Like, do you think that first of all, there's many things that could be in play. what you're saying could still happen because he's rich. But if he loses his presidential or former presidential protection, then that's a different ballgame, no? Because
That's
if
if there are enough Republicans who have the common sense
fair
to do this.
enough, because if the impeachment goes through, like you said, with the backing of 17 other Republicans, which is a fucking lot, but um, if that goes through, no more privileges, no more SS, no more office of the former president of Donald Trump, no more protections, effectively. That's huge if they could
I,
get it.
I hope they go out all guns blazing on the man,
I
but
hope so too.
I can't see I cannot see
Can't see
it.
them
It's
prevailing.
nah. And it was Jordan Belfort you were looking for.
Jordan Belfort. Yes, there you go. That's who I was thinking about. But yeah, man. Uh, whatever. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
We can
Yeah, I
talk about
watched.
another theft.
Yeah, man. It was a good show. Very good
Did you
recommendation.
finish it or did you
I
like?
did. I did. I didn't. I thought it was like 8 episodes. So I was afraid that if I didn't start it early, I
Mm,
wouldn't finish it. And I wanted to watch ball, but I ended up starting it early anyways because I wasn't too interested in the games going on.
mm.
And it was 5 episodes. So I was like, oh, cool. I could finish this pretty quickly. I mean,
Yeah,
Amaka watched it. Very good. Very good
yeah.
show. I mean,
The
I
show
I like how
we're
it ended,
talking
but
about we're talking about Lupin.
Lupin
Yeah, okay. So the ending was abrupt.
was
I
annoying.
felt it was just like that. It
They
just
should have
ended.
done 8 episodes and just finished that whole story. And then next season we can see something else. But
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
coming back in the summer apparently, which is a long ass time.
Or at least not next year.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
some of these shows come back in a year. But yeah, it was good. I liked it. I liked the direction it went in. I liked the backstory. It was good. It was a very good show. Very well done.
If you don't well if you plan on watching it, skip the rest of
Log
this
off now.
episode.
Yeah.
So, like the spoilers right now.
Yep.
Oh, and by the
Spoiler
way, if you're
alert. Spoiler
watching
alert.
this, give us a like, hit the subscribe button, ring a
Review.
notification bell.
Subscribe.
I've never said that before, so I wanted to say,
Exactly.
I wanted to say that.
Like,
But
share, review, everything.
everything. Let us know what you think in the
Subscribe.
comments down
Subscribe.
below. But no, like you know what? I watched the show and I watched it in French with English subtitles because I felt I was going to be annoyed by English. I don't like shows that are in a different language and I watch it like in English. It will piss me off. Even anime, I don't do that. Like I watch anime in like Japanese.
See, for some reason, when it comes to European languages, French, Spanish, and I say this with respect to this show, and what's the other one everybody liked?
Money,
Castle de Papel, yes.
Money Heist or something.
I couldn't do the Spanish and read the subtitles because I want to look at the page. I don't want to look at subtitles. I want to look at you talking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather hear the conversation, even though there's some things that may not have translated properly.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather hear English than try to read and miss something that happens on the screen. To me, and I always miss it. But only with anime, especially anime that's action packed, where I don't really need to see every single thing. I just want to see them fight.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue, okay, I can watch the dialogue, or even kung fu movies. I'm not really trying to. I can watch the dialogue and miss a few things on screen, but still enjoy the whole movie. Because I know when it comes to fighting, I'm not going to be watching the dialogue. I'm going to be watching them fighting.
Right.
But I couldn't. I wouldn't have done beyond to do it if it was French. But I really wanted to. I'm sure my size voice is much deeper than the English dub. Because I kept thinking this man doesn't sound like this. He wouldn't sound like this. So I found somebody with a deeper voice for his because he looks like a really big man. But then again, some guys like that have low voices. So
like especially like the French voices aren't always that deep. So like, how do I remember it? It wasn't too deep, but like I didn't even.
Was it like Idris Elba deep?
No.
No. Really? That's disappointing.
No.
It kept reminding me of Idris Elba though. There's a way he walks too that's like Idris Elba, like this way.
It's a little bow leg.
Yeah, exactly.
I just watched Molly's Game with Idris Elba, so I remember it clearly. Yeah. It's like
have you watched that African show that he was in? I've forgotten what it's called.
Turn Up Charlie.
No, not Charlie. No, that one is different. This one is actually acting like an African guy in the 70s or something like that. Like a fresh off the boat type of guy.
I haven't seen that. The only
Yeah,
one I've seen him as a pure African was Beast of No Nation.
yeah, no, not that one. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I might find that. But anyways, Lupin was good, man. It was good. I liked the whole thing. I mean, and I'm surprised that they used that immigrants rather than just doing a white person to just. But then again, it made it more interesting. His backstory made it more interesting.
I think it made it very interesting that he's a Senegalese immigrant and his dad was arrested and pled guilty and charged for theft that
Hmm.
he never did. But
Hmm.
then, like, I feel like, okay, so again, we said spoilers. There's a necklace that's stolen from
Maria
the
Antoinette
house his
necklace.
father works at. Okay, I
Yeah.
think his father was like a butler or something.
But no,
Um,
driver and
the driver.
general butler and driver. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
actually. Yeah,
So
because he
like
was
the
cleaning
necklace
the
went
study.
missing,
Yep.
and they said he did it, and then the police and the family pinned it on him.
Mm.
We then find out that it was a frame up, that the man
Mm.
was framed. Now in the beginning, the first couple episodes, you may wonder, like, okay, was it a scheme, like, by the father or not? Although I think you might think he's innocent,
Mm.
but clearly from the get go, from the jump, I was like, man, these niggas is racist.
Mm. Exactly. Everybody was racist. Even when he was in school, they were racist towards him. Everything. So no, that was the first thing that I don't know why he chose his dad.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of paying on the black guy if not because he's black and they will not look too deeply. They just think he's
Hmm.
a thief. So yeah, it
That's
was.
why it was easy. A Senegalese man came over, like, he needs all the money he can get. He's seen
Yep.
something, like, it was an easy con.
Yep.
But like, the dad clearly wanted to tell his son, and like whenever his son was able to figure it out, that he was innocent, and
Hmm.
started leaving clues in this book, the Lupin, um, they call it, was it theft? Like the con
The, the,
artist book or whatever. I don't
the
know what the
gentleman
gentleman's.
thief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's some
Uh,
clues in there, and if
where's
you're
my
this smart
yes? Yeah.
to leave clues
Hmm.
in here, like, you could. I thought his dad maybe could have been smart enough to get himself out of this predicament.
Mm, well, I don't think his dad just likes to read, but his
Mm,
dad wasn't necessarily like he didn't study Lupin like his son did eventually. Do you know what I'm
mm,
saying? So he wasn't thinking, okay, be cunning and try to figure out a way to get out of this. It was more, how can I relay my message through something I taught my son to do, which is read. You know,
mm.
he was a smart man, but he wasn't necessarily thinking that far away. Oh, I know all Lupin story. I can figure out how to escape from here because like his son did. I don't think he was that sophisticated to do that. If not, he would have been a thief,
Mhm.
really, and
Yeah,
just done exactly what his son ended up started doing. So,
I was a very big fan of the heists that the son pulled off.
hmm
Like, like when I'm watching heist movies, in my mind, I'm like, can I believe this?
yeah,
When I saw that, I was like, I believe
yeah,
everything except for that guy crashing the car into the Louvre. Like,
yeah. Honestly, that's the thing. I looked away a little bit, so I didn't see what caused him to crash. But do you think he didn't plan for them to have the accident, though? Did he?
no, he didn't. He planned for chaos, but
Yeah,
he
well,
didn't. So, like, he made a copy of the
the
jewels,
necklace. Yep.
and he had it on himself.
Hmm.
And he concocted this elaborate scheme to buy the jewels at an auction,
Hmm.
and then have the jewels stolen
Well, then,
from him
yep.
by the people that he was working with, who he knew would double cross him.
Yep.
So he was able to put a copy. Where did he put it? In the
In the
no,
trash can.
he replaced it, and they stole the copy,
Yeah.
and he put the original in the trash can,
Yep.
so that when all the chaos and the fight happened and everything, no one would obviously check the trash to see if there's, like, jewelry in there. And he actually works as a janitor already at the
See,
Louvre.
that's
Picked
one
up the
thing.
trash.
That's one thing I didn't like though. Like he wore the janitor's clothes over his suits. Like, come on, at least strip down a little bit more or something. Have other change of clothes, but literally nice shoes. The suit was cracking through the, the janitor's clothes. I'm like, anybody looking at you seriously? will know that you're not really a janitor right now. Like you're doing something funny, you know.
Mhm.
But then again, I guess they don't look at you seriously. And again, I'm like, come on. I understand he was supposed to be a master of disguise, but this nigga has the biggest nose in the world. There's no way. There's no way he can disguise himself. When they were looking at those 5 pictures of him, I'm like, this is the same fucking person. Like, come on, like,
He's
don't lie
also a
to
huge.
me. Don't lie to me that you think it's a different person because of what? Because of some hair and some, even he never did anything as elaborate as the interview disguise
Mhm. No,
ever.
no, no. He just changed
So
like eyebrows every now and then,
I'm
and
like,
like.
okay, change the eyebrow to orange. Really? That's supposed to make him look so different. Wore glasses, you know. So all things like that irritated me. Like, come on, we all know it's the same guy, but then again, it's not movie than they do, so no problem.
Mhm.
We take
But
it like
that scene in the park where he's talking to the lady,
that was good.
and he's dressed as a food delivery
Hmm.
guy, and he calls because at first he's on the phone making a bunch of calls, and you're like,
Orders, yeah.
okay, why does he keep saying the same thing over and over again? He's
Hmm.
calling all delivery guys to the same place. I
Yep.
like that.
And the
I
same
like that.
order. I mean, it's weird that he did the same order, but and something about this thing that pisses me off sometimes. Movies like this is that clearly everybody has tracking abilities nowadays. Why can't they never do it for the person they're chasing? Like they can never triangulate who made what calls when, figure out what the phone is. How didn't they know his name was Ahmad, whatever his name is, to the end? Like, he lives in
Um,
Paris. You really don't you really can't like you can't they didn't could they couldn't put Bubakar Diop's name, at least the Kedira guy that was trying to investigate on his own couldn't put two and two together and look for his
mhm.
son. Like I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, I think some things you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit
Yeah.
because it was interesting. Like the way I saw it was when he said his first name, because his name is Arsène Lupin.
Awesome.
Well, sorry, the book, the inspiration is Arsène
Yeah.
Lupin. His name is Assane Diop.
Diop, yeah.
And when every name he chose was
Was
a
an anagram.
variant, was an anagram of
Yeah.
Arsène Lupin. And
Yeah.
when that first guy kept saying it, and they were like, "Shut up," I was like, "Listen, you
Listen,
people are terrible cops." Like,
exactly.
I know I'm watching this, but if someone tells me, like honestly, I was like, if you tell me that the person I'm looking for, 3 names or anagrams of Arsène Lupin, I'm taking you seriously.
Yep.
Let me not lie.
Yep.
I will definitely take you seriously.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, but then again, I guess it makes sense for the plot of the movie that they wouldn't listen to him. But it was a good show. I mean, I'm trying to think of other things. I don't like let's talk about the ending a little bit. First of all, that African guy that was chasing him. Every movie I've seen him in is always a sleazeball, and always French movies. First of all, secondly, I mean, why did they let their son just walk around on his own? So, I mean, I guess he's old enough to walk around on his own, but
I think they thought they were safe, right?
yeah, he
Like,
thought he was safe anyways. So now that's the whole thing. Going to try and find the son. Is that what it
um,
is? And keep dealing with Pellegrini. You know,
yeah, I think so. I have issues with that whole relationship with that woman. Is
so
it Claire?
his Claire, his
Is it Claire?
girlfriend. Yeah, Claire.
It just didn't. I mean, that part didn't make sense to me. It's
What
like,
their whole relationship?
yeah, like, does she know you're a thief? Because she kind of acts like she does, but they don't really say that she does. Maybe that's
I
what we're
think
gonna
she
find out
does.
in like the next season or something.
She definitely does because she told the therapist, just let's just say if he's near you and you have valuable stuff, keep your hand in your pocket, something like that. Like she knows. She knows.
Mm-hmm.
My only question is this: in the beginning, when he gave her the alimony, it seemed as if he was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does she think he stopped doing it and he's like just a regular person now? Did he go to jail at some point and supposed to have just come out? Because same thing I'm thinking about is why did it take him 25 years to figure out all these things about his dad?
That's
Why?
true.
Like if he was that smart and everything, I guess he spent time stealing and making his fortune because clearly he had money. But why did it take him 25 years to actually implement something to get? Or maybe the actually, sorry, the jury just came popped up again when he was watching the news. Remember, that's
It
what
popped
triggered
up
it.
again,
That's what
but
triggered it for him.
he's always had like. Thing is, he's weird because they even did a flashback from where he stole some jewels, like a lot of jewels from some woman.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Remember?
mm-hmm.
And like his apartment is actually kind of nice, even though it's
Yeah, it's
tucked
nice.
away somewhere. It's not a nice
Yeah,
thing. So I was like, to your point, I'm like, why are you struggling to pay alimony? Like
yeah, exactly.
something's missing.
Or maybe you're right. Maybe she knew his history. Maybe thought he had changed after that, because around the time he stole all those jewelries, he was still with her. They were having
Mm-hmm.
dinner when she told him he was pregnant. Maybe he told her he would stop after that, but then to keep up that whole appearance that he had stopped, maybe he just acted like he had no money. Because
Yeah, it's possible.
did he tell her about the job, about the chiropractor? Sorry, I said chiropractor. Sorry, about the janitor. Do you know why I said chiropractor?
You
Because
did say that. I think you
because
did say that.
I said chiropractor because when he came to visit her that first time after the heist, she
Mm-hmm.
cracked his neck. So I thought she was a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, uh, he told her about the janitor job in the coffee shop, right?
I think yeah, he I remember at least I remember him saying I have a job now.
A new
And
job.
I think he said what the job was, but I don't remember it
So
specifically.
that's why I'm thinking she thought he was struggling at this point, maybe. But she definitely knows his history because she knows about the whole Lupin thing he always likes, and she must have known when he was all dressing in suits and stuff in the
Mm-hmm.
flashbacks. She was
Mm-hmm.
the one looking normal. He was dressing in suits all the time. So there must have been something that happened in between that made him change.
You know what? I think you're right. I think she does know because even when he tried to give her the money, she said no. Like she's rich. She's like I'm good, but it might have also been like I don't need to take this from you because
Yeah,
like I don't want that shit. Like I
yeah,
know where it came from. But then
yeah.
he dropped it. He still made sure she got it.
Yep, yep. So, but it was a good show. It was a good show. I didn't the what's his name? The police inspector. I thought it was gonna be more nefarious than that, than him just like trying to rise in the role. I thought he was actually working with Pellegrini more than he was.
I have a feeling, and this is just like I think in part two, you're gonna see more of that nefarious behavior. I think he's trying to throw them off.
Off
And
the vacation.
at first I thought it was just like, listen, I don't want to just be exposed here. Like,
Hmm.
but I think there's more. I
More
think
to
there's
it
more to it. I think there definitely is more to it. I think he's working with Lupin very, very closely, I think.
with
Sorry, not with
Pellegrini.
Pellegrini, sorry, not Lupin.
And I
Pellegrini.
also wonder why what was I gonna say? What is like how first of all, how did they get access to the tape, Pellegrini, to edit it so that it looks like he was refusing to sell them the guns at the end of the day? You
Like
know?
how did he get it?
I mean the station probably helped him, right? He paid them off to doctor it, probably.
Mhm.
But why didn't the guy just put it on Twitter like he did the first time? Like put the whole video on Twitter. Why do you need to go in an interview?
That's a good point.
Like you have Twitter, you put the picture on Twitter. You said you exposed the whole thing. What's the point of going on TV? You know?
Like he thought that there'd be more eyes on it. I mean, firstly, that's not how this works. Social
No,
media will spiral the whole thing out of control.
exactly, exactly. It would have been better to do that. But
Yeah.
anyways, again, it's us they're doing film for, so it's they have to make the story like a little bit sweeter. But it was
True.
a good show, very good show. I mean, the aspect of taking his son. So now is he going to become some kind of vigilante type of wanted type? I have to find my son. He didn't really kill people, did he? I don't remember him killing
Nah,
anybody.
he doesn't kill anyone.
Yeah. So what angle are they not going to? Because it's definitely going to have to kill the African guy to get his son back. There's not going to be some rescue and nobody's going to get hurt. It's
My
impossible.
guy's gonna start bringing things. He's going to do magic and all this to get his son back. Yeah. You know what? Like, I'm curious to see what happens. I was just more like, what I didn't get was clearly they knew this was going to do well on Netflix on some level.
Yeah.
So like, I think they have this part too done.
Of course, that's why it's coming out to summer. Because like I said, if they were filming it this year, they probably had 10 episodes. If we're being frank,
Mhm.
and split it in two.
I think so.
Because there's no way that story ended weirdly. I mean, it was
That's
there was no finality of a season finale.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
It was
Even though
done.
even though season finales give you cliffhangers, it's not like this. You feel like the
Hmm.
story was still building, you know?
Hmm.
So definitely I feel like they filmed, you know how these European shows always do 4 episodes per season or whatever they do? Like all these British shows. By the way, maybe one thing you should watch is Line of Duty.
Mm.
Line of Duty is pretty good. It's a British show.
Who's in that?
It's coming back soon. You wouldn't know anybody in it, but trust me, it's good.
Yeah,
It's all
I
about
I
it's all
like
about
British.
it's all about DCIs and DSSs.
Ah,
Yep, you will like it.
that's my jam. Like
You like it.
Luther and
Yeah, like Luther, exactly. Like Luther,
that,
exactly.
that's my jam.
So if you want to watch it, I think the new season is coming out sometime this year. So, you know,
Okay.
I think there's too many for me to go back and watch. I might if I'm bored enough, but I'm trying to find something else to watch. Really, I'm trying to finish fucking Raised by Wolves right now, just at least to say I finished it, and then I
This
can.
It was an interesting concept. Okay, really quick. You know what annoyed me about Raised by Wolves
Oh,
is that it started to feel like I was being preached to, and
oh,
like
really?
with the veganism
Yep.
and like the anti-religion, and
Hmm.
like we've been on this podcast and said enough shit about like not people's religious belief, but like about the overuse of religion.
Yep.
Like, so I'm not the conservative offended person here,
Yeah.
but it was just like, come on, you're hitting me over
Everything
the
about
head.
that. Yep. Yep.
Like, and even the whole like no meat thing, I'm like, bruv. Come on.
I feel you. I feel you. Definitely. I mean, I just everything's a prayer. Everything is a, you know, let us pray. God, it's the Son God will help us or whatever. Like I don't know what they call Saul or something like that. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
it felt very cultish, and I was
yeah,
like, oh.
it is very cultish. Even this whole setting, honestly, the whole necromancer concept to me is whack. Like that whole turning to metal and flying, like the fuck, like honestly, that annoys me. And why is superpowers a sonic scream? What the fuck is that about? That makes your head pop? Like what? Really?
That's mad. That's
Doesn't
mad.
make sense. And then the other androids that can't do anything really. First of all, I don't get how she was able to rip out father's whatever, and he died immediately, or he at least he
Mm.
shut down. But then in this last episode I watched, the cardinal or whatever, his droid that he sent out to find her, she pulled out his same whatever, and she didn't die. She was able to get up and run and fall into the pit. Like, why are they different? Does he have another power? So I don't know, shall fuck it, but it's a very weird show. I'm just trying to finish it because I don't want to see it on my queue again. I just want to get out there. That thing annoys me. Netflix, when I see something that I watch but I don't like again, and it's just there, continue watching, it annoys the hell out of me. I know if I go on my app or on the computer, I can take it off, but
No, I have a lot of that stuff. I give up on shows very easily, but this one I was like, you know what? Let me just do what I can
how many
do.
episodes is it?
Bruh, I don't remember that thing at all.
It
Like
was
when I told you to watch it, I watched the first episode. I was like, this is
interesting.
interesting.
Interesting. Exactly my thought too. Interesting. But then when you continue, in fact, you know what? Next thing I want to watch is probably something just very light, maybe an animated Batman series, something like that. Something just chill. There's some new stuff from 2020, right? Some Batman stuff.
Um,
I think there's something I saw
is there? I'm not sure.
released in 2020.
Oh, like a new show coming?
No, like it came out in 2020, but it's a new animated series. Not new, but like continuation or something.
I'm not sure. I'd have to check that. But I've just been watching the Boondocks again to try and like
Wait, where are you watching it?
ctv.ca in Canadian TV. They just openly stream it just like that. I'm like, cool.
Interesting.
But they're bringing 2 new seasons to HBO Max next end of this year. So
Of Boondocks.
yep.
So
Yep.
is the history on it though?
I think so.
So
But
that means old episodes are on it. That's what I'm saying.
old episodes are gonna be on it, and then they're gonna have I don't think they're on it now, but they're
Okay.
gonna be on it, and they're gonna have 2 new seasons. Aaron Magruder is back. He wasn't there in the last season.
Nice.
He's back and he's doing this thing.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. Definitely gonna watch that. But yeah, guys, that was a preview of our reviews and discussions.
Mm-hmm. We're
Um,
gonna have dedicated review episodes, not like we just snuck it in. We have
yeah,
dedicated ones, so
yep.
yeah,
So look
excited.
out for that. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, make sure you like, review, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube channel needs to go up, please.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We haven't done a
and
great job of marketing it, but we're gonna start. We're gonna start doing
yes,
that.
yes, gonna start
Yeah.
posting the link with every single link. Yeah, I've been bad at that, so
No,
that's
it's just like we like to talk, but we don't like to market our stuff. Like like
yeah,
even under the cost, if not for Alex, like running that Twitter account, like I don't know what would happen because I'm not that dude. But we're gonna figure it out and give us some ideas and suggestions on how to market our stuff as well.
exactly, exactly. But yeah, I mean, enjoy everyone. Thank you for being with us. Was a good episode, Burn.
Yes, sir.
Very, very good. I didn't realize we'll talk about stocks that long, but that was a good conversation too. So,
It's,
I'm
it's the grown man stuff people need to know.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Enjoy, and I'll speak to you soon again.
All right.
Peace.
Welcome to the talk shop.